Every parent knows the moment. The moment their child says something that stops them completely, something that has no explanation, something that a child that age should have no way of knowing. Most parents laugh it off. Most parents tell themselves it is imagination, an invisible friend, a dream. Sarah did the same thing. For 8 months, she told herself her son was simply creative, bright, full of stories. Until the morning, Noah came downstairs and said his friend had asked him to give her a message. And the message was something only one person in the world could possibly know. A person who had been dead for 11 years. Welcome back to Into the Unknown. Tonight is not a story about monsters. It is not a story about dark figures in hallways or voices in empty rooms. Tonight is a story about a 6-year-old boy named Noah and the friend he had for 8 months. And what happened the day that friendship ended. I want to be honest with you before we begin. This case affected me deeply, not because it is frightening, but because at the center of it, underneath everything, is a love story. The kind of love that apparently does not end, not even with death. Sarah was 31 years old when this began. She was raising Noah alone. His father had left before Noah was born. She had no family nearby. It was just the two of them in a small apartment on the 3rd floor of an old building. Noah was a quiet child, thoughtful. He preferred drawing to playing outside. He had one close friend at school and was perfectly happy with that. He had never shown any interest in imaginary friends before. Then one morning in September, Noah was 6 years old. He came to breakfast and casually mentioned that he had been talking to someone in his room the night before. Sarah asked, "Who?" Noah said her name was Ellen. Sarah asked if Ellen was a friend from school. Noah shook his head and went back to his cereal. Sarah thought nothing of it. Over the following weeks, Noah mentioned Ellen regularly. Ellen liked the color blue. Ellen thought Noah's drawings were very good. Ellen had told him a joke that Noah repeated at dinner and Sarah had to admit was genuinely funny for a joke told by someone who apparently did not exist. Sarah watched carefully for any signs of distress. There were none. Noah was happy, calm, sleeping well, eating well, doing well at school. His teacher mentioned at a parent evening that Noah had become noticeably more confident in class, more willing to speak up, more settled. Sarah mentioned the imaginary friend. The teacher smiled and said some children simply need that for a while. Sarah went home feeling reassured. The first moment that reassurance cracked was in November. Noah came downstairs on a Sunday morning and told Sarah that Ellen was sad. Sarah asked why. Noah said because today was a sad day for her. Sarah asked what was sad about today. Noah thought about it for a moment and said Ellen missed her mom, that today was the day her mom had died a long time ago. Sarah made a note of the date in her phone without knowing why. Something about the way Noah said it made her want to remember it. She looked it up later that evening after Noah was in bed. The date Noah had given her, the day Ellen said her mother had died, matched the death record of a woman who had lived in that apartment 11 years before. A woman whose daughter's name was Ellen. Ellen, who had also died 3 months after her mother. In that apartment, in the room that was now Noah's bedroom, Sarah sat at her kitchen table for a very long time that night. She told herself it was coincidence. She was good at telling herself things, but she started paying closer attention. She started writing down everything Noah said about Ellen, where Ellen stood in the room, what Ellen wore, what Ellen talked about. The details were consistent. Always the same descriptions, always the same personality, always the same voice, which Noah sometimes imitated, quiet and a little tired and warm. In December, Noah told Sarah that Ellen had asked him a question. Sarah asked what the question was. Noah said Ellen wanted to know if Sarah had found the letter yet. Sarah felt something cold move through her. She asked what letter. Noah said Ellen had left a letter. A long time ago, before Noah was born, she had hidden it because she was not ready to send it yet. Sarah asked where the letter was. Noah went to his bedroom. He walked to the corner of the room and pointed at the baseboard near the window. He said it was behind there. Sarah looked at him for a long time. Then she got a screwdriver from the kitchen drawer. She removed the baseboard panel in the corner near the window. Behind it, folded, yellowed, a letter. Sarah sat on Noah's bedroom floor and read it. It was 4 pages long. It was written by Ellen. It was addressed to her mother. The letter was full of ordinary things. Things Ellen wished she had said. Regrets, memories, apologies for small arguments that had never been resolved before her mother died. Sarah read all of it, and then she reached the final paragraph. Ellen had written, "I do not know who will find this after I am gone. I do not know when or who they will be. But I left this here because I could not send it and I could not destroy it, and I needed it to exist somewhere, even if nobody ever reads it. If you are reading this, I want you to know that I am sorry for whatever sadness brought you to this apartment. I hope you are not alone. I hope someone is looking after you. And if you have a child, please tell them thank you for listening." Noah asked Sarah that evening why she had been crying. Sarah told him she had found something that belonged to Ellen. Noah nodded like this made perfect sense. Sarah asked him if Ellen was still in his room. Noah looked toward his bedroom for a moment. Then he shook his head. He said she had been waiting for a long time. He said she seemed happy now. He said she said goodbye this morning. Sarah asked if he was sad that she was gone. Noah thought about it for a while. Then he said, "She said she would be around, just not in the same way." He went back to his drawing. Sarah sat at the kitchen table and looked at the letter in her hands. And for reasons she could not fully explain, she felt something she had not expected to feel at the end of a story like this. She felt grateful. Investigators later confirmed the letter's authenticity. The handwriting matched samples found in Ellen's belongings that her distant relatives had kept in storage. The paper and ink were consistent with the estimated date. The letter had been behind that baseboard for 11 years. No one had known it existed. No one, except a 6-year-old boy, who had spent 8 months listening to someone nobody else could hear, until the day there was nothing left to hear. I want to say something about this case before we close. We spend a lot of time on this channel being afraid, and there's plenty in this world to be afraid of. But this case is not one of those things. This case is about a young woman who died with something unsaid, and about a little boy who had enough patience and enough openness to simply sit and listen, and about a mother who trusted her son even when everything she had been taught told her not to. Ellen waited 11 years for someone to find that letter. She found the right person. She always finds the right person. I genuinely believe that. There are people who will tell you that what Noah experienced was imagination, that children create elaborate inner worlds and fill them with characters who happen to say things that can be explained away with enough effort, and maybe that is true. But explain the letter. Explain the date of Ellen's mother's death. Explain how a 6-year-old child pointed to a specific section of baseboard in a corner of his room and found something that had been hidden there for 11 years. Imagination is a powerful thing, but it does not leave paper trails. That was the story of Noah and the friend nobody else could see. If this story moved you, I think it should. Not every case on this channel ends in fear. Some end in something much harder to explain than fear. Some end in something that feels against all reason, like hope. Subscribe for a new case every single week. Leave your theory in the comments. And if you have ever had a child tell you something they should have no way of knowing, I want to hear it. I'm your host, and this was Into the Unknown.